Welcome to another video. Welcome to Marxisms. Please like and subscribe, share, and comment in the comment section and all that stuff. Today, the 14th Amendment is under fire in the Supreme Court. But guess what? It's doing pretty well. The Supreme Court so far seems to be siding with the 14th Amendment and not Trump's executive order that tries to do away with birthright citizenship, which would affect people like Marco Rubio, who is an anchor baby. God, if we could just apply it to him and nobody else, God, that would be awesome. And then we could just deport him, maybe El Salvador, Rwanda, who knows? But anyway, some of the arguments have been pretty good. They've been even Gorsuch, he's looking at this thing and going, "Are you even accounting for Native Americans? Do they fit into this somewhere?" Because they didn't originally in the 14th Amendment. They were left out, and they had to. It was a later act. I think I forget what it was. One of the Indian acts actually made it so that they could become citizens and vote, which is ridiculous since they were here before us. Shouldn't they be making the rules on us? We're the originally illegal aliens. Sotomayor, she also, she's questioning Sauer, the hell's he? What is the Solicitor General, John Sauer, and was, questioning, whether. Are we going to deport all these people? It's going to be millions of people. All of a sudden, people that have been paying into Social Security and all this stuff, they're going to be wiped out and sent away. Who's for this? Who's for doing this? If we do change the rule on this, here's one thing that needs to happen, because these people came here under the idea that the law was that they were to become citizens. So they should actually be citizens still. They should not be denaturalized. No person should be denaturalized because they did it under what the laws were at the time and how they were interpreted. If we reinterpret this law, it should not affect those people. Just like when gay marriage was made legal in California by the Supreme Court, which was not how you do it. It should have been voted on. But then they made it. Then they passed a thing that made it illegal. And so people are saying, "Well, okay, now those people aren't married anymore." It's like, well, no. They still were married because they married under the idea that they were doing so legally, and so therefore it couldn't be overturned. And that's the way it should be with this as well. But I think there also should be rules that we could make about some of the people that deliberately come here to drop their baby to get. Citizenship, people that really conspire to do it, obviously, like those firms in China that will fly you over here, take care of everything, fly you over here so you can have your baby so it can be an American citizen. That kind of stuff, we can pass laws. We don't need to do away with birthright citizenship. We could pass some laws to work through this stuff. And maybe that's what they'll do in here. I don't know. I do think that we should have, and the Constitution is pretty clear on this, that the Constitution is for anybody that's in jurisdiction here. But now, I will say that Scalia or Alito makes an argument, a Scalia argument actually, that. And of course, I think they bring up the Native Americans not being involved in this, but also a diplomat. It's like everybody tried to say John McCain wasn't born in the United States because he was born overseas, but he was born under the American flag. So that's technically the same thing. It's like people that come here that are diplomats and they have their babies here. They're here under the jurisdiction of the country that they live in. Even though they're in our jurisdiction, they're not, because they're living in an embassy, which is foreign ground. An embassy in the United States is not American jurisdiction, just like our embassies overseas are American jurisdiction. And you can't just walk into an embassy and, as a country, you can't walk into your another country's embassy and just say, okay, we're going to start doing this. We're going to, arrest you here or do this, that. It's sovereign territory. It belongs. That's an act of war. It belongs to that country. So it's a good point, but this argument doesn't stand here because of that reason. Because those they aren't under the Constitution's the United States jurisdiction, as the Constitution spells out. They are under the jurisdiction of their own country. So that's why that's different, and that's why John McCain was legally an American and eligible for the presidency. There was concern about Cruz because his father was Cuban and he was born in Canada, but his mother was a citizen. So if you're born overseas, it doesn't necessarily make you a citizen, not a citizen of this country. If I'm an American citizen and my wife's an American citizen, or even if she's not, and we go to Europe and we have our kid in Europe, they're still an American citizen because we're American citizens. And the same was true with Obama. His father may not have been, but his mother was. And even if he was born in Kenya, it doesn't matter. It still makes him an American citizen because his mom was a citizen. So it's that's the way that works, and that's the way it should work. I mean, that just makes sense. It doesn't look. It looks pretty good for the 14th Amendment. It doesn't look that great for the for Trump and his executive order, which is fine with me. So let's just hope that the justices, with the exception of Alito, who's just a completely lost anyway, and I have no idea where that other SOB stands. The most corrupt one there, what's his name, Thomas. I don't know where he is. His decisions are always fucked up. If you want the truth, we'll just have to see how he goes. I suspect that this might end up being 2 or 3 people on the conservative side, and that's about it. We'll have to see. We'll see if these are real serious jurists or if they are judicial activists. Because this is judicial activism if they side with Trump on this. Anyway, peace.